Hey all, Altarian here with another video. This is just going to be a quick update to my 2015 Diamond Select Toys Enterprise A review that I did. I will put a link in the description for that full review below so you can check that out if you haven't already. To kind of summarize the big issues that I had with the original ship that caused me to get a replacement. The nacelles were pretty wonky on this ship. The big one, the first one that I noticed when I opened it up was this on the back, the big gap and the excess glue all over the place. And then this nacelle looked kind of curved and was actually turned in quite a bit, so they were really off. Those were the big reasons that I wanted to get a replacement, which is this one on the right here. I did not get this ship from the original seller, which was Anime Wild on Amazon, where they told me when I asked about a return that if the package was opened, I could not return it. Then when I replied back saying that you couldn't see these defects in the packaging because this nacelle is completely covered up, and the back of this nacelle is also completely covered up, they didn't respond back. So Amazon gave me a gift card. I bought the new one from a different seller, and we're going to take a look at the differences between the two. We're going to go through what's similar first. Expected paint apps similar. I was hoping the windows wouldn't be sloppy, but the windows are still sloppy along the rim of the saucer here. Those are still kind of sloppy, so that's probably going to be an issue we're going to run across on the entire run. But since they're white windows, again, it's not as big of a deal to me because it's not as noticeable. Light bleed between the two is another thing that's the same. I didn't expect that to be any better. So light bleed is going to be the same. One thing I forgot to mention that I was aware of but forgot to mention was that the registries are not where they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be like between on this panels here, but they're not aligned correctly. So again, that's another issue that's probably going to affect the entire line. And one thing I did point out in the last video that I was not aware of, I said that the impulse engine on the back is supposed to be red. It was pointed out to me that actually in Star Trek V, the Enterprise A had blue impulse engines, so that is actually technically correct. So people need to stop complaining about the blue impulse engines because that is accurate. So that's the similarities. Like I said, things that you would expect to be the same are the same. So we're going to go on to the differences now. In my original video, like I said, the nacelles were the biggest issue. That's what caused me to replace it. But it also had some globs of paint on it. Like on the bottom there has a glob of paint. The shuttle bay door has a bit of blue on it. You can kind of see here a little bit of blue. It will load. And then of course there was excess glue, like along the back of the neck. There's some excess glue. Again, it's kind of hard to come across on camera. And then another place that it was pretty bad was on the underside. On the neck here, there was a bunch of excess glue. And then of course, on the bad nacelle, there was that ton of excess glue there as well. On the new ship, there's a lot less paint issues. If you take a look at the bottom here, it's clean. There's no excess glue there. There's no excess glue really on the back of the neck. And then the shuttle bay, it does still have a little bit of blue on it, but again, it's not a huge deal. And then of course the nacelles are assembled correctly, which is really nice. So this fixed the biggest issue I had with the nacelles being wonky. That was what I really wanted fixed. But this ship is not perfect. There are two issues with this ship, two smaller issues. Well, one is really small, and the other one, it doesn't really bother me, but it might bother other people. The first one, this is kind of hard because I don't have the best lighting. You can see the torpedo launcher is sloppy on one side. On the right side when it's right side up, on the left side when it's this way. But yeah, it's sloppy on that side there. And then the other issue this ship has, like I said, I'm not going to return it or do anything like that with this one because I am happy with it overall. This doesn't bother me too much. Is the gap where the pylon connects to the warp nacelle. Those are the two problems that this ship has. Are those two. So the first one, not a big deal. Let's see if we can get this. this one to some people might be a pretty big deal, but like I said, it's not really to me. But I can't really get it to focus, so. Like I said, I feel nacelle issues might be a problem with this ship. It kind of makes me wish DST stuck with the removable nacelles on the Wrath of Khan Enterprise, because at least then the nacelles pretty much seem straight pretty consistently, whereas with this one, I've seen 2 ships that have some issues with how the nacelles are assembled at the factory. So yes, the removable nacelles could potentially have some issues lining up for lights, but I'd prefer that over having an issue with how they're displayed when the lights are off and trusting a factory to assemble them correctly, which it seems like they can't do. So that's pretty much it for this ship. I am happy with this one. I would still recommend the Enterprise A. This is a pretty nice ship. I like the paint job on it. I like how it looks when it's off. The light bleed is terrible. But I am pretty much overall happy with this ship. So that's pretty much it. All I have to say. I'll be back here in some point in time in the future with a review. And thank you very much for watching.